Hey everyone, Steve from Make Your Own Fun here, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the RB8 Cross 8BitDo or 8BitDo Bluetooth controller that's shaped like an N64 controller. Now at the time I'm recording this, I think yesterday Nintendo announced that Nintendo 64 and Genesis are coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and they're going to release some controllers for those. So this actually has been a hot item for a few years because this is a few years old at this point. It came out in 2017 and it's like 2021 now or something like that. And now that there's going to be an official wireless Nintendo 64 controller, who knows? I didn't get this for too expensive. So I don't know if RB8's going to make this again or re-release it. So who knows if the price is going to go down. But yeah, anyways, looking at the box, it doesn't say Nintendo 64 anywhere, but you can clearly see that it's inspired by that. Bluetooth controller for iOS, weird, Android, Mac, Windows, and the Wii U. And you can use it with the NES and Super Retro Trio if you have a retro receiver from 8BitDo. 480 milliamp hour battery, precise joystick via Bluetooth. Sides of the boxes here. Nothing on the top or bottom. It's got a little sleeve, but it's got a nice little graphic of a Nintendo 64, but they don't call it that obviously. And here's all at the back. Two of today's greatest retro gaming innovators collaborated once again to change the way you play. Yada yada yada, compatible with all this stuff. Supports all this, Bluetooth and USB, that's good. I'm going to try it via USB. Keychain and all that. So let's get into it. Again, this is not brand new. This is used off of the internet. So hopefully it's still good. How do I get this out? I may just have to undo this glue, whatever. There we are. Whoa. Bunch of stuff on this. Box is a little scuffed up, but that's okay. Again with the Nintendo 64, but not Nintendo 64 graphics up here. I'm just opening it off camera because I have to hold it against my chest. I hate these boxes. They keep shaking. Almost there. There we are. Okay, so... Whoa. Where's the cable? Did I get a cable with this? What? No cable, no manual, just a controller. Kind of sucks, but okay. It says it's got a 6-foot USB cable. Obviously didn't come with the one I bought. All right, so having a look around at the controller itself, it has the classic Nintendo 64 style. Nice RB8 Cross 8BitDo logo up there. I don't even know what other things they've collaborated on. It says that they collaborated again, but who knows? I don't know if this has been used much. This stick is really nice and firm. Buttons all feel good, kind of true to life. I guess I just have to plug it in. So I'm going to find a suitable, you can see here, USB micro. So that's good, nice and modern. So I've just grabbed a Xbox One micro USB cable. And let's see how this goes in Windows. The battery I think is dead, which is fine. The guy I bought it from probably hasn't used it in years. Does not want to stay connected onto this cable. Okay, so I'm back and I actually swapped out the USB cable for a different one and it seems to be staying in a little better. And I actually went and updated the firmware on this controller as well, just to make sure we avoid as many issues with it as possible, at least on the PC. So as always, I've brought up my favorite game, the Windows USB controller configuration tool. And let's see what we have. So we have the analog stick. So it's sticking a bit in this top right corner here. I don't know why that is, but you know, maybe I can work it out eventually. But you know, this has got the old kind of, I guess, gear style analog stick. So it's true to the Nintendo 64 controller in that respect, but it's not a modern design by any means. Then we've got A and B buttons working, C buttons working, L and R, and Z at the back. And start. So let's just play some games plugged in. So I have loaded up Hot Shot Racing here via Steam. So I'm not sure if this controller is going to work right off the bat. Let's just give it a go. Hey, nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so nothing seems to accelerate, which is good. Okay, so I've gone ahead and mapped the controller to a Virtual 360 controller via X output. So let's see how it goes this time. Okay. Still not working. Okay, so I'm actually having a bit of trouble getting this to work when it's plugged in with games on Steam. Like, I've had it before where a lot of these controllers kind of double up their inputs when you're trying to set it up as a virtual 360 controller with X output, and then also the Steam default like controller handling doesn't really work that well. So what I'm going to do is use this wirelessly on the PC using a RB8 receiver. So this is the one that I have. Sorry, 8BitDo receiver, not a RB8 receiver. And yes, this is what I'm going to try and use this on Switch 2 as well. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so weirdly enough, it actually worked pretty fast. I don't know why. And Windows is seeing it as a Xbox 360 controller. So hopefully I can just play with this without like straight out the box relatively, as long as I'm connecting it to that receiver. It's pretty interesting. You might be able to see that this LED is now blue. So that's a wireless connection. So that's good. Interesting. I don't know why this works so easily with the wireless adapter or wireless receiver. Wow, okay, so it seems like wireless is the way to go because all the controls are playing very nicely, but the buttons, I guess, are up to you to figure out. Just for reference as well, this thing at the back, I think, does nothing. It's just for visual accuracy, I suppose, but for some reason, it makes you able to see the PCB inside there, so hopefully that never gets filled up with dust or anything. Let's go. Okay, so accelerate is going to be here, which is unfortunate. Oh gosh, where's the checkpoint? Nice, made it. Ah! Might not make it to this next checkpoint. Oh yeah, I will. Easy. Ugh. This joystick is actually a little too stiff for me to be able to pull off the drifts. Nah, definitely not this time. Anyways, one more game. Let's try one more game. As always, I choose the easy way out and pick Street Fighter. So I'm probably going to need to configure the controls here. Okay. Light, medium, what? Light. Oh god. I have no idea what's going on. Sure, I'm sure this is fine. Alright, go back. How do I go back? Third strike with a Nintendo 64 controller. Yep. His D-pad is really registering a lot of simultaneous inputs, it seems, which isn't great. Ugh. Man, his D-pad sucks. I'm getting my ass beat. Come on. Oh, you kidding me? Jesus. Fine. Beat you up the old-fashioned way. Come on, Hadouken. Isn't it coming out? Anyways, whatever. That was not an experience I would like to do again. Okay, so before I test the new controller out on a Switch, here is the original, authentic Nintendo 64 controller. The shades of grey, honestly, I think are pretty much bang on. This is a little bit darker, but that's fine. Man, I never remembered like how bad this D-pad was for fighting games. I don't know, this D-pad's seems a little bigger, it's a little thicker. Maybe that's a choice that they made. Yeah, this old stick is definitely a little more loose than this one, but this is actually honestly a little too firm and it kind of feels weird for fighting games at least, which is weird. I don't know why I keep bringing up fighting games, but you just saw what I did then. I don't know if it's the weight of the cable with the old controller, but this one feels definitely lighter, even though it's got a battery inside of it. There's also the, I guess, the wiring or the components for the functional slot here, whereas this slot is completely non-functional. In terms of an accurate recreation, I definitely think this one has done a great job. So I've got my Switch here and there's an obvious game that we can test this out with, but first let's see how easy it is to pair up. So this controller was originally paired up with this dongle via on Windows. So let's see if that carries over to the Switch with relative ease. Oops, I have to turn it on, don't I? Whoa, okay. It's basically instantly paired, but oh god, there's no home button, so I'm gonna have to find a way to go home. Maybe I need to attach Joy-Cons or something. Okay, so I've attached Joy-Cons because there is no home button, at least that I could easily find out. So let me try and see what buttons we have. Okay, so we'll just test the controller buttons. I'll read out what I have on screen. B, A, Y, X, ZL, ZR, R, L, minus at the back for Z on this controller, plus here, and I'm sure, wait, D-pad, whoop, up, down, whoa, down and right, I'm getting a lot of false inputs. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of false inputs on the D-pad. I don't know if that just needs to be cleaned out or if it's just that sensitive. It's not great. I think it's just a very poorly designed D-pad. I'm not sure if that's how it would work on a normal Nintendo 64 controller, but buyer beware when it comes to the D-pad, I suppose. And we saw in the menu that the analog stick was working as the left analog stick at least, so that's good. Okay, so I think the obvious game a lot of people would try this out with is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Now, I think it's only going to really work for Mario 64, and I actually don't think it's going to work that well because this button is Z, and these aren't going to be like a right stick, you know, equivalent of C stick or something like that. So we're going to have to, I might actually have to remap the way this works using the switches inbuilt settings. Yeah, even now I can't do my like a crouch jump or anything like that because Z is acting as minus. So let me go change that actually. I don't think I've ever done this before, so I'm going to have to figure that out. I can't change the stick, so I'm actually going to be stuck with the camera. But if I go back to Mario, I at least can swap. What's going to be crouch? Crouch is going to be ZL or ZR, so I just need to change one of those to minus. I need to swap one of those with minus. Let's just go with ZL. And that should be it. Okay, so this button is now my minus, which isn't great, but whatever. Okay, so I can't, change the camera with the equivalent of C buttons, but I can kind of play this. It's kind of playable. I'm not the biggest Mario 64 guy, so I'm not really sure how not having C buttons to change the camera will affect me, but for the most part it's playable. And in terms of, I guess, how sensitive this thing is, so let's try and walk. God, can't change the camera. Oh, this sucks. Yes, I definitely wish I could change the camera. Oh shit! Ah! Go on. Nice. Okay, so using the RetroBit 8BitDo wireless Nintendo 64 controller on the Switch is definitely a possibility, but you're not going to have right stick functionality at all. And because the right stick kind of emulates the C stick, as it were, or C buttons, for at least in particular Mario via the All-Stars collection, it's not a perfect solution. I'm sure, or at least I hope, the official Nintendo one that comes out soon will do the trick, but if not, then this may have to do for now, until someone comes up with a better way. Anyways, I think that'll do it for my look at this old but new RetroBit 8BitDo wireless Nintendo 64 controller. Thanks for watching. As always, there's a lot on my channel, so I hope you stick around. If you have any questions or comments, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.